Alright, on the other side of Losers Round 2, we have RadioRad versus PennyPen. PennyPen stacking nice and fast this time. Although I would have liked to see that double yellow go into column 2, so that we can get a little bit more length out of the chain. RadioRad getting an all clear that Penny seems to have missed. Penny in a very tough spot right now because Penny will have to have a chain ready, locked and loaded in order to respond to that, but because that column 3 was so high, the one chain is going to come out too quickly for Penny to respond in the air to at least offset some of that damage. And look, there it goes again. I'm gonna start learning the names of the rows. I mean, I know row 1 and row 13. I'm gonna be able to start eyeballing these rows just so I can tell you what row PennyPen's column 3 is on. That's what I'm gonna start doing.
The day is mine.
Like, you know, they're like not gridded the way that like a Tetris board is gridded, you know. 6 columns is easy, that's manageable. But it's like, it's 12 visible rows with a hidden 13th row, right? And because people build in like groups of like 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you could probably count quickly like that, but I'm not like the fastest counter. But I gotta get fast at mental math. Like, you know, like a rock is 5 rows of damage. Average GTR is 3 Puyos tall. Right? So I'm gonna start like, see, currently, okay, so column 3 is coming down, so column 3 is currently empty. I'm just gonna use this match to start practicing counting rows. Although, you know, see, like, this is the type of playstyle that would work on these long chain players that PennyPen often faces off against, is just attacking quickly and decisively. The speed, like, I was seeing Penny build at a cruising pace, just complete joyride level of building in pools. But he's got it in him. That looks like a modicum of a form. That's an L shape. Well, how dare you? I knew you could build chains. Stop freaking lying to me now. Put that purple in column 4. 4. Okay, you know, maybe he's intent on hurting me again. And he's gonna pop it from the bottom. Oh, I'm gonna die.
Stop it.
That's all it took, though. RadioRad didn't have that green-red locked and loaded.
I've been finished.
Satisfied at last.
RadioRad might be getting a little bit flustered. It's okay. You were the one who called 3 to him in the first place. With this exact background. And this exact music. I don't forget. I'm gonna clean up that purple though. And put that somewhere else.
Take this. Thunderstorm. Stop it.
The 3 chain's not gonna be enough to, like a regular ass 3 chain's not gonna be enough to offset a rock. A rock with a 2 chain though is like a lot of damage. So here we have in Dusty Land a very controversial style of play that RadioRad is learning to adapt to in real time, and that's the rush. There are a lot of rushers. Lots of rushers, especially on ranked. Kind of take advantage of you being a very meticulous builder. And they come at you quickly. and it takes a bit to get used to. Some of them are very successful with this technique in terms of you see the amount of rating that they get and you're like, okay, this person must be like crazy good, and then they just kind of hit you with like an early game through chain. But then when you're prepared for it, see, when you're prepared for it with this 5, Radio's prepared with this 5, it's not that bad. Well, I mean, depending on how good and effective the Russian is and how prepared your chain is. I did a little bit of a vent on stream about rushing. Rushing makes me hate the game. I do not think people liked that. This nice 6-chain response RadioRad has to Penny, I think he's kind of found his stride a little bit in terms of responding to this playstyle. Oh wow, it actually took a while for my medicine to start kicking in. Okay, well, you know what? That makes sense because it is XR. See, I just thought of another one. Another what? Another... See, I was thinking, like, okay, if I say where there's smoke, there's fire, like the white smoke that was coming out of the Vatican today. But you see how that was, like, forced and, like, I fished for it and it didn't work? Also, it happened again. RadioRad had, like, a nice little, like, tail with, like, those in columns 4... No, columns 5 and 6, because that's where the tail goes. I was like, that's pretty nice. I would like to see that. I would like to see how that resolves. And then RadioRad got hit with the most diabolical peace drought I've ever seen in my entire life. Diabolical, like the devil. Ah! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just making myself laugh. This is why I can never be a comedian. I would start laughing at my own joke before I even told it. This is why I have to make comics, guys.
Take this! Thunderstorm!
How dare you!
So that's column 11, right below the X, right? So if I'm seeing like 3 below the X, that's column 9. Sorry, row 9. Row 9. Currently, PennyPen at rows 10 and 11, fighting for his damn life. RadioRad keeping the pressure up, but running out of resources to burn to keep that pressure on. 2 minutes on the board, making these attacks far more consequential. RadioRad really, really fishing to get to that match point to probably get this over with as quickly as possible. And that column 3 placement is going to make it impossible to tank even a row of damage. So RadioRad, match point.
Take this!
Here comes the Spire. The Spire's back. Row 10. With the trigger being the red. Power Pop 2.
Thunderstorm!
Well, Power Pop 3. RadioRad reporting, responding. Clapping back with a Power Pop 4. Really lucky drop with the leaving that column 4 completely open for those greens on RadioRads, and misdrop with that green even. I can feel it. You press down, but you accidentally press to the left or right. And then completely wholly save with leaving those yellows open as well. PennyPen running out of space. RadioRad going to take that, progress to the next round.